All right. Hi.
Hi.
Welcome.
Thanks.
Small crowd, but that's all right. We'll still have fun today. So that just ended. I didn't catch the whole thing because I don't know why. I am normally up on when Apple and Google decide to do their events and watch them, but I was completely oblivious. So I missed part of it. But I think the main highlights are, well, there's some new things coming to developers, which there always are. What is that? There's, they're doing more with HealthKit, which is it's on your phone. It's the thing that we did to get your medical ID going.
Oh, yeah.
But there's also a developer side, and that, they now have apps that do that help people with managing their diabetes and asthma and blood pressure and different things like that. So they're doing updates to that. And there's another new one. What was it called? Let me see. The reason why I found out that there was an event today was I always leave up my little Twitter stream running over here, and I follow iMore, which is a Apple thing, and they started tweeting all these different things about what's going on with Apple. And I was like, how do you guys know? Because there's an Apple event today. Care Kit. And I don't know what Apple's Care Kit will help make sharing medical information between medical professionals and patients. So I think they kind of talked about that when they previewed iOS 9. So basically, I think I had talked about that. You can, like, if you have an Apple Watch, because Apple Watch can monitor your heart rate, doctors can basically, send an expectant mother home and monitor their heart rate, because some people, including my wife when she was pregnant, gets it, I don't know what the term is, but anxiety when they go to the doctor. And there's some term for it.
White coat effect.
Yes, thank you. And so her blood pressure was always high when they took it at the doctor's office. And so they actually were a little concerned. But then she borrowed one from, I don't know, someone here, and took it every day, and it was perfectly fine. And so with the Apple Watch and being able to do that, they could send Becca home, or anybody, and monitor their heart rate, and can also, I don't know how, but maybe through monitoring their heart rate, they can also either guesstimate or something the baby's heart rate, and basically kind of with that it's a permission thing for a limited time, but could then basically monitor the expectant mother at home.
Okay. Paula, tell us more about the iWatch, what it can do. Target has them for $249 shipped. Right,
so they've got them on sale now from $299 to $249. Yeah, the Apple Watch. Well, it's a watch for one. They've got the two different sizes, all different kinds of bands.
This is the 38mm space gray aluminum case with black sport band.
Sport, yeah. The aluminum. So I think that's the none of them are cheap, but that's basically the low end model. 38mm, so that's just the square rectangular shape to it. So there's 38 and 42. So if you want smaller or bigger, and you can go to the Apple Store in Tacoma, and you maybe even the what do they call themselves now? They changed their name, but in the Capitol Mall in Olympia, I don't know if they do, but I would assume, since they're so Apple-like, that you could probably do the same thing there. So much more local. But so you can try them on and see which size is best for you. But so they're a watch. They keep track of your heart rate. They're an activity band, so they'll keep track of your steps and your activity. You can set it to buzz you if you've been sitting down for too long and inactive, just as a little buzz reminder, hey, get up and walk around for a couple minutes each hour, which researchers say is a good thing, to get up every hour to walk around. And then they've got you can do Apple Pay from it. You can send messages
But
from
it has to be in proximity to a phone.
For full functionality, yes. But I know it does some things without.
They're not waterproof.
They're water resistant.
You can't take a shower.
I think you can take a shower with them, but anything beyond that is not recommended.
And they have to be charged daily.
Yes. Yeah, charged daily. They actually reports were no. So it's not which I was kind of bummed about, but I'm getting less. That was kind of a sticking point for me at the beginning, because I would have liked it to, what activity bands do is they measure activity at night or during the day, and they kind of figure out what kind of sleep you're getting at night.
The Fitbit now associates to Alexa.
Mm.
The Amazon.
Yep, the Amazon. Amazon Echo.
Do that. It will automatically upload to Alexa, and you can say, "How did I sleep?
How did I sleep last night?" Yeah, yeah. So it's less of a sticking point for me now, simply because I've had a couple. I mean, I had the one for a long time, but the reason why I had it for a long time is because they kept sending me them under warranty, and then finally one of them died, just because once you get a new one, they give you like a 30-day warranty. One of them died like at 35 days. And so I'd already passed my 1-year warranty, and then, but I kept getting replacements even within the 1-year warranty, just constantly. And now the new one that I have, it's got a replaceable battery. It's not a rechargeable one. It's just a little watch battery. And it's supposed to last for at least 6 months, and battery life is terrible on that. And I don't use it. I mean, I don't physically like push the buttons to activate it that often. So I'm getting a little disenfranchised with those. And so the keeping track of sleep is really, and I have a 2.5-year-old. So Becca sent me this amazing article. I'll spare you the details, but basically it was right on. It made me feel better about myself and my sleep habits right now. But anyway, so that's what it does. And I mean, there's so many apps that are associated with it. You can do Apple Pay, you can do messaging, you can you can Dick Tracy with it. You can answer phone calls from your phone on the watch. Traveling, if you're traveling with airlines that have apps, they most likely now have an Apple Watch app, and so you can check in, scan with your, I don't know how you do that, but you can check in with your Apple Watch. Like Starbucks, I think it has the app, so you can pay with Starbucks through the Starbucks app. Just all kinds of, you can check weather, all this, there's tons of apps out there. So any apps that have the Apple Watch, you can now do those things with what they call at a glance, as opposed to pulling out your phone. And some people, some of the podcasts I've listened to, some people think it's so nice because with the watch, I'm just doing a glance. Whereas when you pull your phone out, you tend to then get engrossed in the phone,
right? Because
it is like a mini supercomputer.
Right.
And so they say, I don't touch my phone as much, and I'm actually less inclined to pay attention to that, more inclined to pay attention to what's around me. So, I mean, that's something I would have never considered, but it's really interesting to know. And now with a $100 price break, it's looking more appealing, which I'm sure was their goal. Yep. So that's what they announced. Well, and they announced a new update to the operating system, and I don't know the details of that because I missed it. But they announced a new iPhone, Sandy.
Yeah.
The 4-inch SE, so it's the same size as Mark's phone, so smaller than the one that we have. But what I was saying is it's nice because it's not dumbed down. Because I don't know if you remember, they did the plastic one a couple of years ago, and it was a dumbed down iPhone, and it was super cheap. Whereas this one it's nice. It's good. It's got all the latest features. You can do the 3D touch. You can do the 4K video. You can do what else? The live photos. Those different kinds of things. And it'll come with iOS 9.3 when it comes out. They'll take pre-orders Thursday, and it'll be in stores on the 31st.
So smaller size is more popular?
They have had, ever since they came out with the 6. Was it the 6? Yeah, the 6. This one. As soon as they came out with the 6, there were tons of people. There were even tons of, I watched a few of them. There were even tons of YouTube videos of just YouTubers making a career out of being on YouTube, going out on the streets and saying, you know, having it, because this phone wasn't out yet, but had an Android that was a 4.7 inch and then had their 4-inch iPhone and said, you know, here, if Apple came out with this size, which one would you prefer? And there were tons of people, and there still are tons of people that just like the smaller size phone. On the little thing today, they said that people who are first getting smartphones or people who are switching to the iPhone actually prefer, for whatever reason, that 4-inch screen. And so they said that people have been asking for it, and so they want to.
And are they calling it the iPhone 7?
No.
6 something.
6 SE. SE. I don't know, whatever that SE designation is, but yep. Yep.
Did you see the commercials?
It says the iPhone SE or iPhone 5.
Maybe it's just SE.
Oh, wait a minute. Smaller. Yeah, that's what this article says.
Yeah, I think it's just SE. I don't think there's a numerical designation to it.
Okay.
Yeah.
Did you see the ad this weekend that was playing during the basketball games? Them dropping the new Samsung phone. I think it's Samsung. Android.
Yeah, the
dropping it from 6 feet.
Oh,
and
no.
Smashing it with some kind of new glass that's supposed to be shatterproof or something.
The new Gorilla Glass.
Yeah.
Yep. The new Gorilla Glass. Yeah, the Nexus or Galaxy S7.
Yeah.
The S7, yes. It's also got I forget what they call it, but basically the screen goes to the edge.
Way to the edge.
Yep, screen goes all the way to the edge. If you pre-order it, I don't know if it's too late, but if you pre-order it, you can get the Samsung VR headset free, which is incredible. Not that I would get an Android phone just for that. Really
have
not.
you tried any of that virtual reality?
I have
stuff?
not. You know, I keep saying I'm going to get a Google Cardboard because that's the cheap way of getting into it, but I haven't. And I was actually watching some people online play with a VR headset. There's I don't know what you would call it, but anyway, they make a living out of it. They're called Geek and Sundry. And they play board games and video games and role-playing games and all different kinds of crazy stuff. And they were doing a VR. They just got their hands on one of them. I don't know which one. But just like any new technology, it is, I mean, it's not because it's brand new technology. But when you look at it, it's very amateurish because they're starting from these developers of the games for these things are starting from scratch because they've got no prior background to it. And I mean, you were shooting these little rope like Batman and swinging from treetop to treetop to get to checkpoints. And it's that kind of stuff that just completely turns me off because it's not, the games aren't really there.
It's not possible.
Yeah. Like when they first came out with the Wii, you know, and then PlayStation and Xbox went along the same lines to get that. They were just dumb, silly games to basically show its capabilities, and was never really. Anyway, so I'm not really that excited about VR, but what else did they talk about? So they talked about the new iPhone, Apple Watch's lower price. So the new iPhone, $399 or $499 are the two prices. They the new operating system drops today, iOS 9.3 with night shift. They also updated the News app and the Notes app. And again, I missed what exact, I mean, not huge updates.
So all
to
that should be on the software update screen, right?
At some point today, yeah. Yeah, I had been checking. I can check again right now, but
Speaking of software update, if anybody has a Kindle, apparently there's something changing tomorrow that if the older versions need to be updated, or if you miss the opportunity, then you have to do something, take another step or something. I think mine is probably out of date. So
Out of date.
to do that.
yeah.
That's good to know. So
They,
the iPad Pro, what's
yes.
the difference in it? I mean,
So, well, it's,
this is pretty old.
so the first iPad Pro they came out with, which was maybe last March. Maybe that's why they, anyway, the iPad Pro is a 12-inch, maybe it's 12.1, but it's a 12-inch screen.
Okay.
So the ones that we have right now are 9.7-inch. And then the iPad mini, which Becca has, is a 7.9-inch screen. But some of the other things that really set the iPad Pro apart was it has we only have one speaker right here along the bottom. It has four, one in each corner. Is one of the highlights of the iPad Pro. It's also got the processor is much more powerful, and so you can do, which you can do on, well, no, I can do on my device. You can do slide over, so I can be in an app and slide the screen over like a third or a quarter and launch another app side by side. It's a little bit, I think with the iPad Air 2, this is the iPad Air 1. With the iPad Air 2, it truly does both at the same time. But with mine, basically I'm in that new side app, and the other one is grayed out. So it's kind of handy, but once I found that it did that, I stopped. I didn't use it as often because I thought the whole point of it was to be able to do two things at once. But the iPad Pro does side by side, so you can do split screen. So half the screen is one up, and they are both live. So it does that. It supports the Apple Pencil, which is an expensive digital pencil for writing or drawing. So it does that. And it's extremely powerful. It's like a laptop replacement, but it's, again, it's a tablet. And so there's always that limitation because of how much hard drive space it can have inside of it. And by that nature, there's just certain things that at least at this point still, I believe, tablets can't do that desktops can, which is why we've had some people in here who have been frustrated when they've made that switch and have switched back, or like Bill, who was thinking that route and then ended up not doing it because it just wasn't the right thing to do, which personally I agree. So anyway, the new iPad Pro, I was confused at first when they announced it because it's 9.7-inch screen. I thought, well, we already have a 9.7-inch screen, but it retains all of those Pro qualities. So it's got the 4 speakers, split screen, all of those powerful. And I don't know if the other iPad Pro, the 12-inch one, will do this or not. But with iOS 9.3, and because it's a brand new device, so they can make it do whatever they want. Really cool feature, I think. they call it True Tone something, in which anytime you've got a laptop or your tablet or your phone, when you look at it like a web page, and let's just say the majority, like if you go to Google's search engine, 90% of that screen is white, and it's just this bright glare in your face. Well, this thing has extra sensors, 2 extra. All of ours have light sensors in them, like your front-facing camera also acts as a light sensor. It's got extra light sensors built into it, and now it will adjust the color tone of whatever you're doing and using to reflect, because it emits light. It doesn't reflect. They compared it to a piece of paper. If you have a piece of paper, it will reflect whatever environment you're in. So if you're in a brightly lit room, it's going to reflect bright white light. If you're in a dark lit room with a fireplace, it's going to emit those kinds of tones and colors. Well, now this new iPad Pro will do that. So if you're in a darker lit room and not some bright area, you're not going to have this bright flashy screen, regardless of time of day. So it will have the night shift. All the devices will. But that's more for gearing towards bedtime. This will adjust more. It's more of a reflection, not really adjusting the color of the screen, so to speak. It is, but that's not what it, in its truest sense, that's not what it's meant to do. And then it's also got apparently it's got a 40% more or less reflective screen. So basically, if I'm understanding that right, also, if you go out in the sun and you're holding a device, unless you've got like the Kindle Paperwhite or whatever that one is, things get washed out because of the bright rays from the sun. And so this will reduce the amount of it and reflect 40% off more than any other device has, which is huge. It's almost 50%. So just a greater capability of being able to use your tablet in any environment you find yourself in, especially outdoors. So that's pretty incredible. I'm the feature, that True Tone was pretty exciting for me. But again, I probably won't buy a new tablet until this one has served its lifetime. I think that's pretty much everything that they talked about. There might be more, and you probably look up on some kind of Apple website what's going on. Apple News website. But yeah, interesting stuff.
So with the release of all this new stuff.
Yeah, and I think all of it hits March 31st. Well, it's just the 2 new devices.
Don't they typically take everything else down $100?
Well, but they're both new products. So the iPhone SE is a new 4-inch product. So there's no previous model that it can knock down. And same thing with the new 9.7-inch iPad Pro. And the price point of the iPad Pro, this 9.7-inch iPad Pro is decent. I think it was $599 but it's only 16 gigs. That's kind of the bummer.
Sandy, when you ended up getting your new phone, it was partially because your old phone was too old. So what was that? That was an iPhone 4 that got to be too old.
Let's see.
Yeah.
So this iPhone 5 is going to be too old here.
Yeah, see, at a
Pretty
glance.
soon.
I couldn't,
Just wouldn't keep up.
right, and I couldn't use, it was so old that I couldn't turn it in and get a discount.
Right.
Yeah.
Yeah.
And I couldn't sell it. I just had to keep it.
So I got to keep an eye on that.
Yeah.
Because I'm on the bubble, I think.
Oh, 12.9-inch. Just kidding. It's almost 13 inches. I thought it was 12.1. And then here's the 9.7-inch iPad Pro. Da, 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 da. Oh yeah, and there's more color. I forget what they said. There's more color. Here's the lighting thing. See how it's adjusting in color based on the room it's in. Yes, and then the 4 speakers will, if you're, for whatever reason, rotating the device, the speakers and what sounds they produce, because it's surround sound, will adjust which noise they're producing. Because if you've got it sideways, then these are the front and those are the back. Well, if you turn it this way, now these are the front and those are the back, and it'll do that automatically while you're shifting the device.
Yeah, incredible.
10-hour battery life. It's got the brand new A9X processor, M9 coprocessor. And they, well, yeah, they came out with their own accessories. So they came out with a keyboard built just for it. And apparently the buttons on it will function. So if you want to do like the split screen or switch different apps, the same feature, the same command you use on your laptop for a Mac is the same on this keyboard. So they say it's a seamless transition.
Do you know what button it is for split screen? Maybe that's.
I don't know split screen. I know that if you push the 4th button from the top, it pops up all your open screens.
4th button from the top.
Or sorry, top row, 4th button in. It looks like 3 different shapes, rectangles. Yeah. So, and then I think I mentioned this, but the Apple Pencil will work with it also. So only the iPad Pro. And
you say that's an expensive thing?
It's an expensive thing. Let's see if I can, let's see here. iPad music, blah, blah, blah. No, I want the store. Well, let's just go. Let's pretend we're going to buy an iPad Pro. The new 9. Yeah, see, only $599. It's as opposed to change $799 for the 12.9 inch. So $200 price point difference. So we pick the 9.7 inch Pro. We want it in space gray because I always get space gray. Oh no, it does start at 32 gigs, but I've already discovered 32 is way too small. So then you get this $749. So that's $250 more.
So you could buy an iPad Air for about $1,000, right? I mean, a MacBook Air.
Yeah. $899. Maybe it's $999.
It's in there somewhere.
Yeah. Why can't I continue? Currently unavailable. Oh, that's right, because it's not till Thursday that they. All right, so then we want to change to the 12.9 inch because really all I want to do is I don't want. I'll skip the engraving. Blah blah blah. Da 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 da. Apple Pencil. Oh, it's only $100. Maybe did they change the price of that, or has it always been only $100? Interesting. So $100 for the Apple Pencil. MacBook Air. Yeah, 11-inch starting at $899 or the 13-inch starting at $999. So for $749, you can get 120. Was it 128 gig? I think is what. Maybe not. 9.7 inch. Yeah, 128 gigs for $750. And they're basically saying it's a laptop replacement. Which it is, but it isn't. Again, I still truly believe that there's limitations. And it just depends on if you're okay with those or not. I mean, for people who say, all I ever do is check Facebook and surf the internet, and if that's truly what they do, I I mean, even now they've got Pages and Keynote and Presentation, and you can download the Microsoft versions, Word, PowerPoint, Excel as well for them, and do basic stuff like that. Then yeah, I mean, it's a replacement.
So the MacBook
So-
Air is a laptop?
Yeah.
Okay.
Yeah, it's an 11-inch or 13-inch laptop, meant to be lightweight and portable, though their ultimate lightweight and portable one now, which is confusing to me, but I'll not go there, is the new MacBook, which they completely renovated last year.
Yeah.
And this is the only plug this device has, is this plug right here. There's no other plugs on it.
Now, which is
This is the MacBook.
Okay.
This used to be the oldest, most outdated until last year. They completely redesigned the whole thing. This is now the new ultra lightweight, ultra portable travel machine if you want a full laptop as opposed to a tablet. And it's interesting. I mean, even if you go to the MacBook Air, you've got the 11-inch and the 13-inch, and but then if you jump up to the Pro, if you get the 13-inch, I mean, you're only looking at, well, I guess you're looking at $300 more. But anyway, so yeah. So if you're looking for something small and sleek, the MacBook Air is great. If you want something that's more of a workhorse, then you want the MacBook Pro. If you are traveling all the time and you want something that's one step up from a tablet, maybe that's being a little too harsh. But if you want something one step up from the tablet, then you want the MacBook.
Right.
But you also have to understand that it only has that one port. And so then you're buying all of the adapters from Apple to plug other things into it.
Right.
But that's what a tablet's like too. So I guess it's not that much different from a tablet. And honestly, if I were to go that route, I would buy the tablet.
Too many choices.
So you got the, yeah. So, well, I guess you could include the phone, I suppose. So you got the phone. You got the two sizes in the phone. Well, now you have three sizes in the phone. Then you jump up to the iPad mini, then the iPad, and then the iPad Pro 9.7-inch now, and the iPad Pro 12.9-inch, which is actually bigger than the Mac Air or the MacBook. What size is the MacBook? I don't know. I don't know these things off the top of my head.
11-inch.
I thought it was 2, or maybe it's like 12-inch.
Yeah, I think you're right.
Anyway, so then you've got the iPad Pro 9.7-inch, iPad Pro 12.9-inch, the MacBook Air 11 or 13-inch, and then the MacBook Pro 13 or 15-inch.
Yeah, I should have been counting as he was.
And then you could go to an iMac and those different sizes. And then you can go to a Mac Pro, which is ridiculously expensive.
What was the expensive one?
The Mac Pro, which is a desktop. It's this big giant cylinder. The Mac Pro. Thank you.
To the top.
That's good. Thanks. Yeah, this is what it looks like, Sandy. It's a big giant tower.
Yeah. Oh yeah, we talked about those before.
Yeah, and it starts at like $27.99, I think.
Wow.
Nope, $29.99.
Wow.
I lied. But I mean, and the other insane, I mean, it is a beast. It's like I don't know what to compare it to. It's like
A Hummer.
it's like, yeah. It's like a
Hummer versus a
elephant
Camry.
on steroids. And the crazy thing, this $3,000 price point does not include a monitor.
Oh my.
So then you have to go and buy a monitor to go with it.
Just take a special monitor.
You have to buy one that has a lightning port. So technically you do not have to buy an Apple monitor, but you do have to find one that would have.
So who would buy it? Somebody who has too much money. But
My brother.
other than that, gamers, movie makers.
No, if you're a hardcore gamer, actually you honestly would buy a PC.
Yeah.
Because most titles, when I bought my Mac, I've got this program, think of Steam like a computer version of PlayStation or whatever. My game library went from 71 of how many games I own to 32 playable on the Mac. So yeah, if you're a gamer, you're gonna want to stick with a PC. This is for like my brother, who is a mechanical engineer and does all sorts of weird theoretical crazy math stuff, and his university pays for it, so he doesn't have to worry about that. So yeah, I think I considered the Mac Pro when we switched to Mac for about 10 seconds.
And your desktop Mac at home is
an iMac. They're the all-in-ones, although I always have to be careful when I say that now and chuckle. But they don't have because so many things are digital now, they've gone away with CD-ROM, DVD drive. So you have to buy one. It's like $79. It wasn't, which we did buy because we've got lots of programs. One of Becca's music programs was universal, so it had both the Windows and Mac software on the one CD, and so we installed that on the Mac, and so we had to get the CD.
Do you find that with all your other stuff that you sit down in front of that, or like me, I'll sit in front of the TV now with the laptop on my lap, watching the basketball game. So I don't know that I would sit in front of the computer.
Yeah. It depends. I mean, there's some things that I really do like just doing. If I need to be, I mean, yes, if I'm surfing the web, if I'm, just for news or for checking Amazon for something, because there's this thing on Amazon, and the price just keeps jumping. It's so weird. And so I'm just waiting for it to hit a price that I'm happy with before I get it. It's even changed price like within 10 minutes of me checking.
Oh my gosh.
I don't know why. It's so bizarre, but it has. So anyway, I think it's hovering at like $22 and a penny today. But anyway, if I'm writing my sermon or doing research, prepping for youth group stuff, different things like that, I will go upstairs and sit it there. And the other really nice thing about it, we got the 27-inch one. I can do so many different things at once, all on the same screen. Because if I were to make Word or Pages the entire screen, it would just be a waste of the screen. I mean, there would be so much blank space unless I wanted to zoom into like 400% and have size 12 font look like size 40 font. So I can have Word open, I can have my Bible software program open. I can have the internet open, and I can have messages because Macs and MacBooks have messages now on them, so I can text people, anybody. Anyway, so I could do all of that and have all of those, not all of them, but I can have some of those all open at the same time and see all of them at once. So there are times when that is extremely helpful, instead of minimizing and maximizing and shifting them around and command tabbing to pull things up. Yep.
And here at work, your PC is?
Is this?
Oh.
No, my personal laptop. Yeah.
Do you have a PC on your desk?
I used to
Okay.
a while ago, but they were just
Okay, I guess I haven't been in your office like that.
they just I don't know. I didn't at first, and I didn't in my first call, but I've grown to like having all of that stuff on my personal device, because it's, you know, it's all stuff that I create and do, and so having it as mine and not just having it as like a thumb drive backup of everything is handy. And I know with the internet now and with Dropbox, like that stuff could sync back at home flawlessly, but it's just nice to do it all on the exact same device. So I use this, bring it back and forth every day.
Speaking of the church, how and where is the technology committee? What are they up to?
So they completed everything. Well, they're the background of everything. Got stuff approved in the budget. John Mee just got back from his trip, so he and I will probably meet in the after Holy Week and Easter. But some of that stuff, actually, we were ready to just punch forward, especially since it's in the budget, and so we've got the funds for that stuff. But then we realized with the renovation, like Mike wanted to, one of the things is Wi-Fi throughout the building, all on the same password. So no matter what part you're in, you don't have to keep re-entering different passwords. It would be just one big integrated system like they do in other businesses. But if anything does get changed in the renovations and moved, then that could change where we locate the routers and all of that. So we decided to put a hold on. If same thing with one of the things that got approved is another TV to go out in the narthex for scrolling announcements like we do on the screens. And if any walls get moved or changed or anything, then we don't want to put that up yet. We want to do it after the fact. So all that stuff has been presented and approved and is ready to move. But then we said, well, let's wait on that before. We don't want to put all that.
So where is that, the renovation? It's the cottage meetings are done.
Finished. They presented on last Tuesday to the council. Louise compiled all of that information. And include, I mean, even if something was just said once, and even if things had polar opposite views on something, it's all in there. And so it looks like there's going to be 3 levels of improvements that will be, and then there'll be a vote on which one to go with. But all of that has to be compiled, and gonna have to get.
So who's got the lead on that?
That
Council.
No, the team at this point in time, that team has it, and depending on.
And who are they?
Larry and Louise, Pete and Jana, Sue, and
So
One more.
okay.
But they are
More to follow.
yes.
Word coming.
Yes. Yes. And if council / that team decides that that team's going to be the front runners for moving everything forward, then they're going to start bringing in more people because that group of 6 is too small, they said on Tuesday, to be able to do things that they may be asked to do. So, and then, that will, there's no official, but unofficial discussion of hiring, some kind of interior design person to discuss lighting and colors and things like that.
Sure.
And there's people that are going to reach out to, at the very least, the architect who did the designs 8, 9, 10 years ago, to get a feel for what they might suggest or what kinds of ideas and things they can get from them before making a full commitment to have new plans drawn up. So yeah, that's where they are.
Okay.
Yep. And Gary has different people on the council assigned to be leads for different teams. So
Good for him.
yeah, so there's 2 people assigned to technology, so they'll be working with the technology team since that groundwork has already been done. But then there's when there's more information to share, there's 2 people that have been assigned to the basically publicity, for lack, but communication, publicity kind of team. There are people who have assigned to work to find and just have those initial conversations with an architect, or finding multiple architects. I think they were going to call the Synod office to see if there's someone that they recommend who's versed in church design.
That's a good idea.
And then there's people who've been assigned to the team for that interior decorator, lighting style person. So everyone's got their little jobs just to be as point people, not to be the people necessarily. Because they're not, Tom's like, I know nothing about my area. And he's like, well, you're just kind of the person to build, to kind of be the point person. Well, team point people for that. And then they can build their teams from there.
Who are the 2 communicators?
Oh my goodness. Darlene, and they got up and spoke a couple weeks ago. Darlene and I don't remember. Really blanking on people right now. But so someone else. And again, it's not necessarily their job to be the people that speak, but if things need to be presented, that they're going to coordinate those presentations. Yep. But again, when it'll be, I mean, this is the goal, but still assuming something gets presented or 3 levels get presented, it will be a congregational vote. And so it'll be 60 days out that has to be announced before the vote can happen. And so at the very least, those 60 days will be intensive with information about what things are going to look like.
Okay.
Yep.
So back on technology.
Yes.
Do you know how and when Amazon Prime renews? Seems like I've been Amazon Prime for a long time.
It's a yearly membership, and it is basically your whenever you signed up date.
And do they ask you, or they just do it?
They just automatically assume that you.
And they send you a bill, or how?
They auto charge whatever card you signed up on. So either you need to go onto your Amazon membership and cancel.
Yeah. I want to keep it, but
yeah, that's how it happens.
Yeah.
Like ours goes. Becca has an Amazon card, and so it goes straight onto that card. But yeah, for a couple of years when I had an Xbox. They have an Xbox Live membership, so you can do all kinds of online stuff. And they warned you, they would send you, I don't know if Amazon does, I presume they do, but again, it goes to Becca, not me. But they would, like a month out, they would say, this is your auto renewal notice.
I get that from the VAS and from Microsoft.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yep. Microsoft sends me with the Office 365 subscription that I have, and we used to subscribe to a program or a company called IOBit, and which was a malware detection program, and we canceled that because we're switching over to Macs, and I don't think they have a Mac version. So anyway, I canceled it, but they sent me a month out notice. Your renewal's coming up this was back in January, but anyway. So yeah, they should send you a notice, but you should be able to check in your account on Amazon's website when that is. And kudos to Amazon. Speaking of them, I was logging into my because Amazon, if you have Amazon Prime, you get their instant video service. Did you know that? It's like Netflix.
Oh, yes, I did.
Yeah.
But,
I'm not as big a fan of it as I am of Netflix, but anyways, you get it. And so I was signing into that on one of my devices, and because Becca and you taught me that you can share your Amazon Prime with other people in your household, and so I did that, and so now I have it associated with my account. And so I thought when I was signing in, I could use my Amazon username and password. Well, it wasn't the case, and it signed me up for a year of Amazon Prime. And it's $100 to do that. And I immediately went right back in once I saw that had happened, and I clicked cancel. And I got an email back saying, you have not used your Prime, you didn't use your Prime membership for anything. We're refunding you the entire $99 back.
yeah, I'm pretty impressed with them.
So that was really cool. They recognized that maybe it was a goof up, or that I signed up for it, but I hadn't used it yet, and that I had changed my mind. And so without talking to anyone, they just said, we're refunding you your $100.
Happened with Daniel. He accidentally signed up for it.
Yeah.
I discovered it. And so I went and canceled, and they refunded the whole amount.
Yeah. There's like I said, no phone call, no discussion, no filling out a form.
Nope.
They just said you hadn't used it, so here's your $100 back. So kudos to them.
Yep.
I really like it. And it's really weird ordering something, by the way, that's not off Amazon's website, because I did that. And
You mean it's
just
through Amazon?
No, completely different website, and having to wait.
Oh,
I mean, it's so weird. It's not, because it's only taking a week. It'll be here Thursday, but you just get so accustomed to that. I'm like, man, it's in Billings, Montana right now. And it's been like 4 days.
I like that Smile Amazon.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Giving to a cause.
Yeah.
Yeah, that is really cool.
Our cause is Nature Conservancy.
Mm-hmm.
So 5%.
Have you seen that, Mark?
I'm aware that it exists. If you go through their portal, you can list your charity.
Yeah.
I don't know if I did it or not. A lot of them have that.
Yeah. It's just nice.
Yeah.
Yeah. I don't know. It keeps asking me, and I keep telling it the same thing. And so I don't know if it's actually working or not on my account. Maybe because I'm not the main Prime membership holder. I don't know. But anyway. So yeah, cool new, interesting news from Apple.
Very good.
I have a simple question.
Yes, I love simple questions.
I want to change my password.
On?
I'm sick and tired on my email.
Okay.
I want to create a new email account.
Okay.
A second email account, because I am tired of all the emails I'm getting from every store I've ever purchased anything.
Yes.
Okay.
Becca
And
does. Becca
I
has.
am really
Yep.
tired of it. Okay, but since I've got the 3 devices, the PC at home, the
Mhm.
iPad, and the iPhone.
Yep.
Okay, what do you recommend? These 2 automatically go to whatever Gmail I have. Okay, I mean, don't have to sign in on these 2. Okay, what's the order that I should add a new Gmail account? The PC first, or one of these, or?
Well, I mean, the way you're asking that question. Thanks, Mark.
Thanks, Pastor. Appreciate it.
Yeah, no problem. Doesn't really matter. I think if you're creating a new account, I think it's easiest to do it on a computer.
Okay.
Or your iPad would be next. But and then all you have to do as for those 2 devices is you go into settings, mail, contacts, and calendars, I think is the topic.
Okay.
And then you can just click on Gmail, enter your username and your password, and then they're permanently on those 2 devices. Whereas with your desktop, you just, anytime you log in, you'll have to re-log in. So that's how I would do it.
Okay.
Yeah.
So the PC is not going to notify these 2 that
No.
I've got a new account?
No, you'll have to do it manually on all 3.
Okay.
Yep. But once you do it on those 2 and you save that login information, then those 2 will be permanently set up.
Okay, and I don't have to do these individually anymore because they're tied?
Google account,
Yeah.
you'll have to set up because they're gonna presume